pues, the-
Hi, we are live.
Let me check.
Be
are we?
careful.
No,
Yeah,
Aligned.
think it has been shared.
It says we're live, right?
yeah.
Live in session.
Okay, yeah, I can see it on X.
I will send it to Boris. Live stream on X. Okay. I hope people can hear us. We will get feedback on that in a second. 93 people, 94 people. Okay, I wasn't expecting this level of attendance for a first episode of a of a something that we're trying. Yeah, to give a little context to everyone, my name is RJ. I'm one of the founders of Aligned. I'm here with Diego and Mauro, who are also co-founders. And our idea is to just, to be honest, to play around with live streams and try to see what type of things we can communicate in public and that is interesting for the community and keep everyone updated. So this is our first episode. It's a pilot program. Hopefully, we talk about things that you find interesting. We'll try to make it supernatural. That's why it's only Diego, Mauro, and myself. So we can literally do like a daily between us, but with information we can actually share. And if you have any questions, try to make them. I believe we have a comment section, and we can read the comments you're asking. But maybe we can start with a very short intro. Diego, if you want to start to tell everyone what you're doing and what's your role in Align.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I am Diego. I am the head of research and co-founder of Aligned. And well, mostly what I do is related to doing research on different protocols, proof systems, and also like generating a lot of content. And of course, then I have another like unofficial role, which is related to making memes. And of course, then I am the person also in charge of all the fun facts. And this time we have an international version because RJ is currently in London in winter, whereas Mauro and me are in summer in Buenos Aires. And so I recommend RJ that you cross the Thames and you will find a replica of the Golden Hind, which was the ship that Francis Drake used to circumnavigate the world. And he took all the way from London to Argentina and went across the Drake's Passage in the south of Tierra del Fuego. So there is something that unites us at the distance. So yeah, that's me, and I like doing these memes and fun facts.
Yeah, traveling with Diego is usually a very good idea because you have a guide tour inside the team. He probably knows more about the city than the normal guide tour.
We have some fun stories of people thinking that Diego is a tour guide and then starting to follow him around and asking him questions. So, as to continue with the presentation, I'm Mauro Toscano. I'm also one of the co-founders of Align and CTO, usually more on the side of the tech. So yeah, and I think we can talk about Diego's fun facts, the roadmap of Align, or things that you're interested in Align, and also it's a good opportunity if someone is interested in some of the frontier tech that we don't build, but we are not building ourselves, but you might want to build with, like, I don't know, CKTLS, bridges, and different kind of systems. We can talk about those kind of topics too.
Yeah, I think. Well, we'll see what things people like and what makes sense to share. But maybe this can be viewed as a open office. Is that something people do? Like a place where if you come and you ask some like a question, we'll try to answer it, even if it's not 100% aligned with where we we're trying to update. Like if you have a question about CK, maybe at some point we can have a small, like a few minutes where I don't know, Mauro and Dio can try to answer your question. The idea is to offer a place where you can interact more with us in social media. You can see our beautiful faces as well, and see and you, if you pay attention, you will see when we are in complete war mode, or where we are trying to rest a little bit to recharge energies. So I think that's going to be a great way to get some information of when will things go live. If you see Mauro like sleepy, it's because things are shipping super fast.
Or no, if you see us a bit relaxed, it's not that we are relaxed, we are just thinking.
Yes.
And there are like lots of things going on. Something that's good that is that um, we are in a new year. We solved like the first milestone a few weeks ago before the end of the year with the beta mainnet, and now we have like several ideas and things we want to explore. Luckily, we've been also like strengthening our collaboration with our partners. And I don't know, Fede's been tweeting a little bit about that. Uh, and I can only say that, I don't know, I am bullish about the things that are going to come. Um, for example, something that I've been enjoying a lot is working with our partners from 3MI
Yeah.
Labs, for example. Now they have a super cool idea I cannot share, but it's good because they seem to be more or less on uh, like very much like us in some aspects, and they keep throwing ideas. But for example, something that was really nice was that as a result of our collaboration, we could find some bugs in a popular CKVM, and that was like a bit challenging because we had to kind of dive very deep into the code with not so much documentation and everything. So I don't know, that was a very nice piece of collaboration, and I am sure that together uh, we will improve many things.
Yeah. It has been a very fruitful partnership so far. We have been working with them for a couple of months now,
Yeah,
and yeah, and it's really good because they are very complementary to us. Like maybe we have different backgrounds, but I think so far not only we have been learning a lot, but we have had good results. And probably in the future, I think we should invite them to maybe one of these streams or the community call, so people can meet them. And it will be most likely a more technical stream for those who like tech stuff. But to give a little more context, one of the things we have been doing is partnering with, in this case, 3MI, to work more on the cryptography side of things, trying to understand certain systems and tech that in the future we want to use. For example, we give support in our verification layer for both SP1 and RIC0. So one of the things we need to do is also take like a deep dive on those systems to try to understand their current stage, and in the future to build new products like the proof aggregation layer to understand which one we can use and what things can be improved. So most likely in the future we will share more about that. I think we'll have a lot of things to share from the insights we can find with them. Maybe what we can do also is explain. I don't know if the roadmap is the right word, because we're in a stage where we're still tweaking or trying to fix a few small issues with the main product that we have right now, that is a fast mode. And after that, we'll try to, with some of the knowledge we're gathering, studying many things, we will try to understand what's the best next steps in the products that we want to build. So far, we're live in mainnet beta with what we call the fast mode, and we already have around $7 billion in economic security, I believe, 58 operators on top of EigenLayer. and this is like the first product we're building, but we'll build many more. And to do all of that, we need to do a little more research and understand what's the best way to build what we want. Maybe Mauro, what we can do is I think it will be interesting if we can share the things that we believe we have achieved that are good and the things that maybe we need to improve. We shared many of the things we want to improve in the near future in a blog post, but I think it will be interesting for people to hear from you in which things we're going to, which things are the team working right now in order to fix and improve Align. Because not many projects share that, and we have a way of building in public that is kind of different than most people.
All right, yeah, we can start with that. If someone has any questions, like feel free to send it in the chat. I think right now it's mostly people telling us to go to Turkey, like in Diego's haircut. Sadly, I think Diego's haircut is superior to her shape, but
I don't have her, so
No, I look, I would definitely love to go to Turkey. We have all our friends and community there. It was a pity that we couldn't go yet, but I miss a lot of the nice things that I saw in Turkey. In fact, my Twitter account has lots of posts in Turkish, so I might as well have to learn some Turkish, not to
and
be
people don't know
outside.
this, but Diego knows a lot of languages, and he learns fast.
No,
So I
no, no, I don't know so many languages, but I don't know. I was born in the pandemic and decided to learn a little bit of Japanese, so I can more or less read, uh, and that was useful. So maybe at some point we can try learning Turkish. It's going to take some time,
for the
but
other stream, like learning Turkish, like some Argentinian guys trying to learn Turkish. Maybe it's going to be the next hit in YouTube. Going back, maybe going back at the protocol. So we launched mainnet beta. It's working, like it's highly reliable. We work a lot. Like the protocol was strong way before we launched. Most of the work on the latest months was to make sure that it's very stable and that we know what's going on, like adding telemetry, that kind of things. Like this, you might have not seen because we use it mostly for internal work, but we have like a lot of dashboards. We know all the time which operators are live, which are having some failures. We have a lot of data on the liveness and the state of the network, and that allows us to keep improving it, diagnose if something is going bad. The worst thing like that can happen is that something is broken and you never learn about that. So it's very important to really have this. So I'm kind of backtracking what we did. That was like the focus of our last work. We already had the protocol. The protocol was probably done like by mid-year of the previous year.
around July, June, right?
Yeah, but in luck, that was our first testnet. Well, we had a first testnet with Tendermint. Some of you might remember it, but then we moved to ABS with Eigenlayer. So we got our first version of that very fast. Then we also had to work a lot on reliability. So what we did is adding a lot of redundancy. If you see our code, like it has fallbacks for everything, like a lot of measures to avoid something failing if some piece of the infrastructure fails. This is very related to how Erlang or Elixir works and distributed system in general. Those systems, for example, are using Discord and WhatsApp. So you have to assume that every piece of the system can fail, and then think on how to recover from that. So that's a lot of additional work that you might not see in the white paper, because of course, and you will not see in the protocols, but it's very needed for things to be stable. And the other area was most related to the payment system that added like probably 2 months of work at some point, because the network is very simple. That's one of the features of the protocol, is that it is very simple, and that enable us to quickly update with new provers and verifiers, so you can always use the latest tech, and it's also really fast. If you ignore like the payment systems, like it can handle it scales almost horizontally, then we could add even more machines to scale it more, but it can do 4,000 TPS very easily, probably 10,000 if we ask the operators to upgrade the hardware. But you need to somehow charge the users for the usage, so that was part of the work. I'm then trying to improve a little bit the SDK. I think it's still kind of clunky to use, and it could be improved. So we have some upgrades in mind, but maybe that's more of a talk of what's going next. I don't know, I'll say if we
Yeah.
want to talk about that or not.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons we believe the SDK and its improvement is one we know. I mean, we built it and we know that it needs more work, but at the same time, we did a hackathon that it was end of October more or less,
Yeah,
and we had a lot of participants, and then we realized, okay, we got some feedback, and we talked with many of the people involved. The ecosystem team have been speaking with them regularly during the hackathon, and we noticed that we need to fix it to make it easier. Like the developer experience should be way easier than it is today, and try to implement a better system so you can easily use a CKVM and simply send the proof to aligned, integrate better your smart contracts by reading the state of aligned, many things. But I think all of this is going to get solved in the first few months of this year. We know it's something that we need to prioritize so we can have actually more people trying aligned and trying to build something very fast. Like one of our values is to not only build good infrastructure. I mean, we know that building good infrastructure is important, but you also need to build a very good UX for your clients. And in our case, our clients are developers, so we need to have something that removes frictions to them. Like it should be very easy to do a tutorial. It should be very easy to know how to integrate Align on your architecture, and it should be very easy to write code that integrates Align. So that's something that we need to work on. And regarding everything that Mauro said, I believe something important for people to understand is we are sharing all of this because then we want the network to be decentralized and it's an open system. So many of the things Mauro is telling, like, okay, we need to understand what's happening in the network to have more visibility and transparency, is something that for us is going to be important. That today may look, maybe the word is not relevant, but it might not look as important as we believe it is because we are just starting. But in the future, if you have a lot of users and a lot of proofs being sent, all of these things matter because you will have many people involved in our ecosystem. So establishing these foundations early on is very important. And we have already 58 operators or 57. So that means we have 57 teams who are actively interacting with Align, verifying proofs, and we need to coordinate very well and show them data and have a very easy way for them to know what's happening in the network, and also for us so we can communicate correctly to them. So these things more in the implementations are very important to have a decentralized network and that works properly. And one of the criticisms we're doing to ourselves is that we need to start working more on the communication of, okay, we did this upgrade, maybe we need to share it on social media. I mean, in terms of how it's documented in the repo, everything is following the best practices. but the part we're missing is connecting that with the communication to the community. So that's something we have been discussing today with Mauro. So the ecosystem team maybe can work more with him, and we can start sharing more updates on that, so people can know, okay, Align is at this stage. This is the version of the system that is working. These are the different components, and we have more transparency. And yeah, maybe what we can do also is share a little bit the vision that I mean, with these things, you're always constantly reworking and adapting to the market where you're trying to build long term, right? Like what we're trying to do with Align is accelerate the roadmap of Ethereum in the CK part. That's what we're trying to do from our side. That's where we're building a CK verification layer. But in the future, we would like to complete what we believe is going to be the CK stack for building stuff on Ethereum. So one of the things we want to do is build a proof of aggregation layer and build many of the missing tools that we see on the market that will actually help developers build better applications using CK on Ethereum. So maybe we can give a little more insights on the different parts that we're talking about. I don't know if Diego, you want to start with the proof of aggregation layer?
Yeah. So aligned with the fast mode solves like the problem of verifying proofs like really fast on top of Ethereum, but the only thing is you could say that okay, it's been verified only by Alliance verifiers and maybe operators, but you can say I want things to inherit like the full security of Ethereum, and I want my proof to be verified by all of Ethereum's validators. So in that case, the problem is that in principle you wouldn't get the reduction in cost because your proof cannot be batched with something else. The good thing is with zero knowledge proofs, you can create these recursive proofs where you prove that you verified proofs, because basically Ziggy, what it allows you is to prove computation, and in particular you can prove the verification of proofs, and that way you can compress. The only problem you get is that if you want to combine different types of proof systems, you have to uh, do like some transformation, and that can be very hard because say that you create a new proof system, then you have to have a way of transforming from that proof system to something that can be very easily aggregated. Okay, so in that sense, I think that the fast mode still offers like several advantages, and there is like no added latency. So maybe the best way to aggregate proofs right now would be to have a zero knowledge virtual machine and to execute the verification code of the proof system that we want to transform. That way you can create, for example, I don't know, a Stark proof of, I don't know, a kimchi proof. It doesn't mean that it has to be, or that it will be efficient, fast, or whatever. It means that theoretically it is possible to do that. And once you have these Stark proofs, then you can do is use the recursion mechanism that you have to aggregate all those proofs. So to do that, of course, you have to have virtual machine that is really fast, and at the same time that follows the best security practices. Because if not, basically you verified a proof that could be false. So and that way
That's
you're
why we have been studying the CKVMs.
yeah, because really something that we found is that they don't necessarily explain very well their inner workings, and sometimes they have like modified versions of protocols. That is to say, it's not the protocol that was published and that you have like the security proof. And so if it's not explained and everything, it's like, how can you be like 100% sure? So that's why, I don't know, it looks like an instance of rolling out your own crypto. And something that you need is precisely a lot of people being able to see what you're doing, audit it, try to attack it, break it, uh, And so that's why we invested a lot of time working with, for example, 3MI Labs to, okay, say we want to formalize, understand these, and that's where you start finding bugs. Besides, what we would like is to have like a VM that is like minimal in the sense that the code base is very simple, very lean, and people can understand um, what's going
Yeah.
on. I think that at least from a software developer perspective, it makes total sense to build simple code bases with as few dependencies as possible, uh, and that everybody more or less understands what's going on under the hood. If not, it's easy to end up with bugs or unexpected behavior. So um, that's one of the things we want to build. Of course, it takes maybe a lot more time because you have maybe to develop specialized circuits for some proof systems, or at least like take a lot more time auditing it because it's like way harder. I think that one of the nice things about fast mode is that it was like pretty simple in its architecture. I don't know, Mauro, if you agree, but basically the first version was like uh, pretty simple. It doesn't have like super complicated cryptography. In fact, even though it verifies zero knowledge proofs, the security of and the inner workings of the fast mode don't depend so much on that.
Yes, I agree. It's much easier to on the cryptography side to do something like align that something like an aggregator. And you can see it also on the market. If you take a look at products that say that they have aggregation is only for one type of proofs and very limited and not really adaptable to for you to use whatever you want. You are kind of constrained in what provers can you use. So yeah, fast mode is probably going to always be a little bit ahead on the curve of which proving systems you can use, what technology you can use.
Yeah, and something for the people who are not technical, I think I always explain, because I think this is why one of the main reasons why we decided to do fast moves first is CK moves really fast. Like the industry is constantly changing. There are constantly new teams trying to build new CK VMs or create new proof systems that take different trade-offs. So it's very difficult to build something that you know is going to be around or that can adapt to all of these technologies. So one of the advantages is that adding a new proving system or a new tech to fast mode is kind of more straightforward for us because we don't have a limitation on the cryptography side or on the theory side. And the operator can just verify those proofs. Of course, there might need to be changes, and Mauro and the team will have to fight probably with different cryptographic libraries, but it's still doable. And this
Yeah,
is very important if you want to get adoption, because a lot of teams like us don't know which of the CKVMs is the best one right now, and and things change. Maybe you want to use one now, but in the future you want to use another one because things move really fast.
yeah. I don't know if you remember that we were in Athens during the dinner of ZK Summit, and they released Jolt like
Yeah,
at 7 or something. We were eating, and then we had like Mauro going with others, like, okay, let's see whether it's easy to add Jolt's verifier to Align's testnet. And I think that 4 hours later or so, it was there. Well, that shows you that we are a bit crazy because we could have waited, I don't know, until next day. But it was like, oh no, new toy in the middle of sponsors dinner. Okay, let's go hack. So
Yeah,
now,
I didn't sleep a lot that night too, but it was doable in like one night, so that's very positive.
Yes.
Um,
No, maybe to. I don't want to extend this first episode too long, and we can. Yeah, I think we can start also including some stories like this in our streams because last year was very
we
was very
were very
crazy.
formal. No, and we are in our
Yeah,
communications. We tend to be a bit formal, but really we are not as formal as people sometimes believe.
that's
Uh,
true.
and we have a lot of anecdotes. Like we cannot share everything. I think that we've seen like a lot of interesting things. Yeah, and I don't know. It's a good way maybe for people to get to know us better. At least know that if they find us in some conference or anything, they can come and talk to us. Uh, in general, we like talking a lot with people about tech, or if they have like some crazy idea, maybe we can help them. Um, and I don't know, I am really impressed by um, all the developers that we've met, and some have like very good ideas. And I think that Align precisely is solving one of the big challenges that many people faced when they wanted to build products, because really we know that ZK is the way to scale blockchains. But if verifying proofs is like super expensive and you have low throughput, then it doesn't scale really. So I think that, yeah,
No, I was going to say maybe even for another episode we can explain if it's not clear why CK is the way to
Yeah,
scale blockchains. We reached that conclusion after some years of work in the industry, but it might not be obvious if you just arrive to Ethereum like 3 months ago, like you might not realize or not be sure why do we say that.
yes, and also maybe people have been around crypto for a long time and say, ah, okay, but yes, but Solana is faster and better. Like, yes, but in the end, all blockchains have the same bottleneck. And I think it will be really cool if we can spend some time. I think Diego, I didn't saw your whole podcast episode with Daria, I think is her
yeah,
name, but you explain the part of why blockchains are slow and the different trade-offs. I think very well. Maybe in the next episode we can speak about that. And also, I think something people do not realize is actually why things scale horizontally with CK. And I think that's something that we should start communicating more because it's a different kind of way to see stuff. The only thing that I saw that is new that could help scale horizontally is something that Aptos is developing. Apparently, you can create a cluster of computers around one validator. I haven't read it in detail yet, but I think that's something that also the community around the Ethereum should explain more. Like, okay, well, these are the trade-offs. Everything is going to this direction. In this case, Align is trying to solve and help Ethereum scale the verification of proofs in particular. That is going to be one of the main ways things are going to still be verifiable. And yeah, we need to make the common folk have an easier way to understand why this is, why do we believe this is the correct path. And I think in the next few years it's going to be really clear because things are getting super fast. You're going to get almost real-time proving, if not real-time proving, and we are doing some experimentation around that. And if you have real-time proving, maybe you need real-time verification, and I think something like a line that has a lot of throughput is going to be super important.
yeah.
Um, I, yeah. Anyone wants to say anything else? If not, I think we should close it here.
Think
No,
just Ini asking how if Diego did that align frame. Not sure.
what?
The thing is, Diego is a chemical engineer, so he is actually an alchemist. So he can create objects out of thin air with atoms.
Yeah, no, it's yeah,
Now I added the logo. Yeah, we're using a tool that helps with this very easily. Yeah, last thing for everyone that is listening, we will try to do this every Friday, and this is going to be way more relaxed, and it's going to be more like, okay, maybe we invite someone and the ecosystem team they interview them, But I think it's going to be important if we can spend some minutes with Mauro and Diego, just talking and showing our faces and listening to the community. And we'll also have the community calls in Discord, where Jeannie and Boris maybe interview one of us and people who participate in our hackathons and give some updates on the current stage of the project and the ecosystem. And last thing, we have a competition called the ABS Showdown, I believe, in Joker Race. And that's going to be, the new round will start very soon. If you can support us, it would be great. I think that will be shared in social media very soon.
Yeah, in Thailand we had also the ABS showdown, and we had to
It was
go.
a different showdown.
Yes, go to the ring, and you had the guy that did Muay Thai. So it was fun. Pretty bizarre.
That's how you lose your head of research, like fighting guy.
I don't
After
know.
that, that's why after that we have Diego only doing memes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
A ver.